Let's say, for example, Jane is in a parking lot. Someone attacks her vehicle aggressively and starts banging on her hood. She grabs a tire iron from her passenger seat and begins to wail it around. The question is she responsible for assault with a deadly weapon? Let's start with assault with a deadly weapon, just basic aggravated assault, violations of California Penal Code Section 245A1. This crime wobbles as both a misdemeanor and a felony. If it's a misdemeanor, it's potentially divertible in California under judicial diversion or other DA diversionary programs as well. Keep in mind, usually in that situation, the assault with a deadly weapon category applies if the conduct was not as egregious. It applies in a situation where somebody wasn't hurt as bad. And generally, the max exposure on that offense is up to 1 year in the county jail plus $1,000 base fine and penalty assessments. Keep in mind, usually the case will resolve for something like probation. And what that'll mean is at least a 1 year probationary grant. What they'll often ask of you in that 1 year probationary grant is potentially that you complete some degree of jail, or potentially some degree of community service, or potentially classes, for example, anger management and those types of things. If the case happens to be a felony, it's considerably worse. When I say considerably worse, I mean that the offense is serious. And serious actually means something in California. A serious felony is that of a strike. What a strike offense is basically that if you have a strike conviction on your record, any felony cases that you have in the future, the minimum is doubled and the maximum is doubled. It's important to know that a strike can mean that a simple felony can turn into something very serious in the future. Usually a felony 245A1 will also potentially mean that either number one, you potentially see a jail sentence, or it could result in an actual prison sentence as well. A felony assault, an aggravated assault, as they're commonly referred to, usually is an assault that involves more than just normal force. It tends to mean that things got out of hand. It led to a bloody fight. It led to something significantly more serious. Let's say, for example, Jane is in a parking lot. Someone attacks her vehicle aggressively and starts banging on her hood. She grabs a tire iron from her passenger seat and begins to wail it around. The question is she responsible for assault with a deadly weapon? Well, generally, in order to get a good resolution in this case, you need qualified counsel, because first your attorney will look at what defenses are available. Some of the defenses that might exist as on both the felony and misdemeanor side involve the lack of intent. The DA's office might charge her for that, but a qualified defense attorney will effectively show that what Jane was doing was trying to prevent the aggressor from potentially committing more dangerous acts upon her, so that she did not have any intention to actually use the tire iron against that person's body. Usually the defenses that exist in that situation are much more important because the consequences is that much more serious. Keep in mind, any felony conviction can have the collateral consequence of potentially making it so that you cannot get certain jobs. That applies to the misdemeanor as well. However, the felony is worse. If you're facing a felony violation for your 245A1, it is a 2, 3, or 4-year offense in state prison. What that means is that the low term is 2 years, the midterm is 3 years, and the aggravated term, the longest term that you face, is 4 years. If you have questions about an assault with a deadly weapon case, contact qualified counsel. If you know somebody that is facing something like this, please share this video.